This video is brought to you by Smart DNS Proxy, link in the description. G'day, welcome back. I'd especially like to welcome my new subscribers and I hope you enjoy the content of my channel. If you missed my last video, the repairs to the cover, the motor cover on my tool and cutter grinder, and sharpening up a new, an old damaged end mill. So link up there now, you can watch that first, then come back and watch this one. Now, as I suggest at the end of that video, the two gears that I was waiting on for the left-handed threading adaptation that I added to my lathe have arrived. So let's head on over to the bench over there and see what I'm going to get up to with them. Alrighty, so these are the two gears, and actually for a change they're actually pretty reasonable looking gears. A bit better than other garbage I've been buying. Not a supplier I'd used before. I ordered them with two different size holes in them. This one was 12mm I think, whatever. And the other was 15. Now both of them need something doing to them. The 12mm one, if it is 12, then it looks like about 10 actually. No, it's 12. Has to be bored out to around 12.4mm or just under that, so I can make it a press fit onto the shaft that's got to go onto. And this one, the crowd that I bought these from, I didn't want to buy them from two different suppliers, didn't have one with a boss on it. So, but this one needs a boss and a clamping screw in the side. So what I will do is, I don't think I should order a bigger hole, I think. So I might bore that one out a little bit more, machine up a boss for it, and then Loctite it and press fit it in there. I don't really want to have to weld it or put a couple of tacks of weld on there, but I will if I have to keep it in place. So we'll fit those two and get that done to those two and fit them up. I also want to have a look at possibly changing another one of the pulleys on the front, because at the moment I can't thread anything more than 2mm pitch, and I've a little project in mind that will require a 3mm or maybe even a 4mm pitch, probably 3. I'm just playing around with something in the 3D printer at the moment. You can probably hear it running over in the background, trying to figure out which way I'll go with it. But the only way I can achieve that is to change the speed of that drive shaft heading down the back. Can't do it down the back, so I'll have to do it at the front. So I'll have a look at that as well. And also I'm going to have to modify the cover that covers all the belts and everything, because it was rubbing on the pulley that sits in front of this gear. So I've got to modify all that as well. So we'll get that done in this video, hopefully. Alrighty, so if you missed the left-hand threading adaptation series, there was 2 parts to that. There's a link up there now, you can go watch that first. This is the arrangement I came up with to achieve that. Initially, for right-hand threading, this just came down to the pulley here to drive it, that direction, but I had to reverse it, so I've come up with this. I'll just knock this off so you can see exactly what's going on in there. Get out of there. Right, so this gear is clamped onto this shaft which runs all the way down the back, and this pulley here is just clamped onto a little short shaft. I haven't been running these plastic gears. I took all these belts off there. I just put them back on before I started the video this again. So that they weren't running all the time while I waited for those steel gears. Now this clamp screw in there, get that undone and off there. Oh shit. So all I need to do is swap this pulley over whenever I want to go from right to left hand threading. Righto, so what I've got to do now is adapt these two gears to fit. Now this one here, at the moment, has just got a clamp screw in it, holding it on. Where is it? It's up in there. So I'll get that off, and I'll have to get this block out of here and get that shaft out so I can measure this one properly. This one is machined down to 12mm up the front here, because ordinarily, where is it? No, this one's, yeah, it's machined down to 12mm up to about this point here, and then after that I left it at the original shaft size, which was about 12.4, which is what this is here, under that gear. So I'll get them off there, get that out of there so I can get the shaft out, because it's held in place by a 6mm bolt that comes in from the back. We'll get all that off and then we'll have another look. Alright, so that's the piece that fits in here, up in there, bolted through the top to hold it in place. I just checking these gears, these plastic ones. I was worried they might have been a bit smaller than the steel gears, but they're actually just slightly bigger. So we'll have to see how that all goes. I'm just wondering whether I'd be better off turning this shaft down to 12mm and just pushing that on there, because as it is, it doesn't really want to go on there. Or just. So no, I think I'll bore it out just so I can make it, you know, a good tight press fit on there. But that's that one, and this one is light on the situation. It's very clever of me. I've got about 4 different size bloody Allen keys I need to do all this. This is a bit of a pain. Alrighty, so that's what I've got to do to the other one. Put a boss on there like that. So it'll fit the shaft up in the back here. Truly I'm starting to get forgetful in my old age. I just set it all up to show you a bit of the last bit of machining of this and didn't press record. Idiot. I tried to set these gears up in just wrapped in a piece of aluminium this morning. I just couldn't get them to run true. They were just running out something fierce. So I've cleaned all this up, bored it out to take these gears, and discovered that each one has a burr on one edge of it, like that. Won't go in there. It's a tiny little, like a lip all the way around the edge of it. Both of them the same. Anyway, so I'll get that out of there, and I think I might try out my new slitting saw and throw it over the mill and slit it through here with that new slitting saw I made. Alrighty, so let's do this. See how this new slitting saw performs. Getting clogged up, is it? Oh, maybe. Alrighty, so I wouldn't have been able to cut that with my old one. It's just too bloody small. So back in the lathe with that bit. Alrighty, so that works out pretty well. I'd crank it up pretty tight. They could probably do another couple of cuts in it just to make it close up a bit easier. But anyway, that hole runs pretty true looking. I haven't put a gauge on it or anything, but that's half a B stick under 12mm according to my internal mic. To touch that off on the front too, so I know when I'm through the damn thing. This measures 12.46. The external mic. And these two are not reading the same. I did try to adjust it up once and I thought I had them the same, but I will measure that with the external mic and see what I got. 12.16. That's 12.4. Alrighty, I think that's got it. So I might just put a little chamfer on this to make it easier to push it along with. Alrighty, I'll get that out of there, get it pressed on, but I had a bit of a late start today, so it's actually lunchtime, so I'm going to go in and have some lunch, and then when I come out I'll press that one onto the shaft, and then we'll get the other one in there, bore it out some more, and then make a boss to put on it. Alrighty, so this one pressed on there quite nicely. It's all Loctited up and ready to rock. I did that before lunch to give it time to dry. Now this one here is probably just as well. I don't need it to be exactly 15, because whereas that last one looked like it was running pretty true, this one looks like it's running out. Something fierce wobbling around in there. Although I tell you what I haven't done. I haven't checked to make sure that it's right back hard in there. It still looks like it's running out, but if you watch the line that's created by the bottom of the teeth, it looks to be running pretty true compared to that hole in the middle. So decided I'll bore this out to 18mm, because that'll give it about a 3mm thick wall all the way around when I push the arbor, or the boss into it rather. So let's do this. Well, it should be somewhere around 18mm now, because they've made the boss yet. It doesn't really matter what size that is. Showing the Imperial. Why have we got that? There you go, 18mm. Alright, a little chamfer on that. Make it easier to push the boss in. Alrighty, I'll get that out of there and go find something to make a boss out of. Alrighty, bit of 1-inch scrap binion will do the job, no doubt. So let's face it off and then just clean the outside up, machine it back 10mm, drill a hole in it, part it off at 20mm. Starting to think it's time I tightened up these bloody spindle bearings again, the way that noise that was just making. I think I might put a live centre in it. That was a whole lot better. We'll end up with 24.7, take 6.6mm off that. Well, I think that'll push on there nice. I drill a bloody hole in it. Oh, look at that. That's it. I just drilled that with a 12mm drill and it drilled it undersized. Amazing. Unless that little bit of shaft is oversized. No, it's undersized. 11.95. Oh yeah, got to bore it out to 12.4. Alrighty, so that's a piece of that shaft. Ain't going in there yet. Not far off it. These must be out a bit because they're measuring the same now. So, yeah, just a little bit more. I've got a new one of these boring bars in the drawer. I probably should have got it out to do this. This one's getting a bit blunt. Alright, he's going to fit now. Oh, look at that. Like a bloody finger off a bum. Like I bought one, only much more better. Rightio. Get that parted off. Actually, before I part that off, I need to put a chamfer in that. There you go. Break that bloody tip in? Yes it did. You bastard. I hate this thing sometimes. I think I'll just take that out of there and take it over to the saw and cut it off. Back soon. So much bloody quicker and easier than the friggin' parting tool. I reckon the perfect parting tool would be like a little tiny mini bandsaw. That'd be the perfect parting tool. Something you didn't get to see the other week when I was faffing around trying to get this left-hand threading working was I lengthened the stroke of my cross slide so I can get it further over that way now. I did video all that, but it's all gone because of the stuff-ups I made. Alright, so I'll get that in the mill and drill and tap a hole in the side for a grub screw. Alrighty, so this has all come up really nice. This gear pressed on, well, the boss I made and the gear pressed together even tighter than these two did, so they're not coming apart. I've fitted that one up already because it's a little bit of piss farting around, and I've had it in here already checking things, make sure everything kind of lines up, and then I can get these two bolts in here. I wasn't sure whether I might have to try and file the two holes out to get these little screws in, and that would have been a major hassle. Those two go in there okay. I would have had to file them out slightly, but I decided that's all too hard, so I just elongated the holes in this just a little bit. It wasn't much, maybe 0.2 of a millimetre, something like that. No, the length of this shaft, I don't think that will make too much bloody difference to it. I won't tighten all this up because I've got to put this pulley back on yet. And besides that, while I've got all this apart, I want to look at possibly fitting up a 30 tooth gear here. This pulley, this is a 40, a 30 here, that will allow me to cut 3mm pitch threads. We'll have a look at that. But this video is getting a little bit long, so I'm not going to bother you with that. Alright, so let's just nip this up a little bit. So there, little tiny bit of backlash in there, and everything's honky-dory. They still fit nicely in there, and we're all good. So while I've got all this apart, I've also got to try and find what happened to the power feed on the cross slide. There's something wrong in the wiring here. I busted a wire or I've done something. I've got to try and find that while I've got all this apart before I put it all back together. At this point in the video, I'd like to thank my patrons. Their continued support is greatly appreciated. If you'd like to become a patron, there's a link down in the description. You can sign up there and drop me a couple of dollars every month. If you don't want to be a regular contributor, there's always buy me a coffee. Now, let's get back to the build. Alrighty, so I've got all that back in there. I drew up and printed up a 30-tooth sprocket for here. And luckily, I can use the same belt that I use on the 40-tooth, just because this swings, we can't see it, the adjuster allows me to swing it up a bit higher. I haven't checked to see if the cover should go over it. Currently got a little piece being printed at the moment to try and repair the cover, or cut a bit out of the cover to this will hit the cover if I don't do something with it. Outside of that, everything looks okay. That new sprocket's a little wonky, but shit, is this thing noisy. At first I thought it was all coming from down the back and not up the front here. So I disconnected everything down the back, the noise is still there. So it kind of sounds like the shaft is rubbing on something, but I cannot see where it's rubbing on anything. But anyway, have a listen. This gear looks like it's run out a bit, so maybe that hole was in the centre and the teeth weren't cut true onto it. But anyway, it's in there and it's working okay. I don't know, I haven't gone around this to see if the backlash changes. Yeah, see, there's no backlash there. A bit of backlash there. And more there. So that gear is running out a bit, but it'll do the job. I mean, I can't imagine I want to cut too many left-hand threads. I don't know what was going on with the cross-side power, because it seems to have fixed itself. I don't know what was wrong with that. It's working now. Alrighty, so I'll get this little bit of cover fixed up and then we're just about done. Have you been enjoying watching me finish off this left-hand threading adaptation to my lathe? I'd really appreciate it if you gave it a great big thumbs up and smash that like button, because you know it kind of helps me out. Alright, so the last thing we need to do is to ensure that I've given some relief to the cover for all of this, because this pulley was rubbing on it before and I couldn't close the door properly. So I've chopped a bit more out. Wasn't very elegant about it. This was the comically deep cover that I made for here originally to cover all that up, and you can't see it from there, but this pulley sticks out about this far past the end of it, so it wasn't going to work any longer. So I need to rectify that. So after 3 goes, I've got this piece here that I've printed up. Now all this was only stuck on before with a bit of double-sided tape, and that's how I intend to stick it back on there again. And I've got this piece to fit into here. So what I'll do is put some more double-sided tape on these things, stick it back into place, and then I'll add a bit of super glue onto these plastic bits to re-glue them here. I do want to print a whole new one because I've got very little of this little bit of this grey left. So I just decided I would modify this one. So I'll get all that bit of double-sided tape on this and I'll get back to you. Alrighty, I didn't have any of the black double-sided tape I used on there last time. It sticks like shit to a blanket, that black stuff. It was, even though I snapped this off there fairly easily, all I did was like rip the foam apart because it was fairly thick foam. But this one I put on here is really thin. It's just the white stuff with a really thin bit on it. So, well shit, she sticks well, that stuff, I think. Yeah, it sticks well. Now I've discovered that I didn't put the lid back on my super glue last time, and it's fallen over and it's gone all bloody hard, so I'll have to get down the road and get another bottle of that. These 3D printed parts, I find they stick together with super glue pretty well actually. Actually, just give him in, I'll see if I can. Actually, it hasn't gone hard, only the nozzle's gone hard. I'll see if I can poke a hole in it. Rescued it. Rightio, let's just try and put a couple of drops in here without running it everywhere. Wait, there it goes, on the inside. I'll see, get some under there and make it run all the way to the bottom with a bit of luck. Run. Run, damn you, run. Run, rabbit, run. No, the ripple over there. That's mostly good. Alright, now, it's really hard to see up in there. Oh, I might actually be touching it. Anyway, we'll fire it up and make sure there's no rubbing sounds. Alright, so that's only the noises that were there before, so it's not rubbing on any of that, so that's covered it all up. Just going to have to do, if that doesn't hold, I'll go and get some new glue and see if I can't glue it on a bit better. Anyway, that's about it I reckon for this week. Thanks again for watching, and like I said, I hope you enjoyed watching me do that. I'll see you all next week for a little bit of experimentation. I'm going to do some casting, aluminium casting, and I'm going to experiment with something. I've also got some new material to, new foam to cast with, instead of that white stuff I've been using. So join me for that. We'll see how we go. Bye bye.